There are a lot of tropical plants that some people just don't like, whereas most of us absolutely adore them. What are they? You can guess what they are. Cordylines are truly a wonderful plant for the tropical and the subtropical garden. They're colourful, they're bright, they really bring some life into the garden, from the very dark tones to the pinks, the reds, the whites, the creams, the purples. Definitely a plant for a warm climate, whether you're in the tropics, subtropics, or the warm temperate. Cordylines are something worth considering. Remember, there are some native plants, native cordylines, which don't have the necessary colour but are definitely worth growing because they tick the boxes environmentally, but also they add that wonderful green to the garden, which is very, very important. So what do you need to know about growing cordylines? Well, they like full sun or part shade depending upon the variety and the cultivar. And the rule of thumb tends to be the more brilliant the colour, so creams, whites, oranges, even some of the purples, they need more shade, more protection. Whereas the plainer greens and reds and burgundies, they can tolerate far more sun. So certain plants, which could look a little bit more muted, especially when they're young, will develop better colour as they grow. Are they prone to pests and diseases? Well, in my climate, they tend to be more prone to mealybugs and grasshoppers, which are very, very hard to control. Grasshoppers fly in, eat, chew, and then fly on to the next site. So control is really hard. We also get a lot of damage through storm, hail damage, wind, and things like that. But the cordyline is incredibly resilient and forgiving, because if it grows too big or there is some damage on the plant itself, you just cut it off and it will reshoot. And what you cut off, you can propagate. If you want to have a little bit of fun with some cordylines, why not try some cross-pollinating? So how you do that is you have to wait first until it starts flowering, and then you cross the plant with another plant. So minimum 2 plants are needed with different physical characteristics. So one might have pink and light colour foliage, another one might have red or darker or smaller leaves. So you grab the pollen, which is the male component, from one flower and transfer it to a different plant that has a different attribute. And you're transferring the pollen, male, to the stigma, which is the female part of the other plant. In time, if the pollination is successful, you get fertilization of the flower. It develops a fruit. Within the fruit, you get the seed, and the seed is what you propagate from to get a new plant. Now, you don't know what's going to happen. It's a little bit like children. Until they start to grow, their characters are produced. So you have to grow them for quite a while, and then you find out, was it a good cross-pollination, or have you got a dud? Quite often, I like doing this because I find really interesting plants. They start pretty bland, but then they develop colours as they grow. So give it a go, pollinating, cross-pollinating cordylines. So what can you do if the cordyline gets too big, too tall, and it loses some of the appeal? Well, the simple thing is, cut it. And obviously, the part you cut off, you propagate, I mentioned that. But it brings the plant down to a height to stimulate better growth at a lower point. And it's the best way to rejuvenate your garden, give it some fresh new life with this new growth that is being produced on these cordylines.